if you go on that platform, such a high platform in United Nations, and you talk about in your 50 minutes, most of the time you've spoken about RSS, you've spoken about radicalization, you've spoken about our Prime Minister, then you spoke about picking up a gun, and then on top of everything, you started talking about nuclear war. On that platform, you should be, as a Prime Minister of Pakistan, you should be talking about peace, you should be talking about prosperity, you should be talking about your own economy, about your own country, and you talk about nuclear war. That is something which is absolutely shameful and absolutely not acceptable. And then you try to threaten a country which is, what, 7 times bigger than you, and you know that what has happened, and you literally accepted that you cannot win a conventional war. And probably if you go into that conventional war, you might not be able to go till the nuclear war. And I'm sure, I think threatening a country like India with a Prime Minister, like a Prime Minister who is very strong, who has the will to make India a superpower, I think that was a bit of a surprise. To be honest, as a sportsman, I think you play a gentleman's game. You try and be a role model for your own team. You try and have a good team spirit. You try and talk about peace, talk about camaraderie. But then someone like Imran Khan, who's played for such a long time, who's captained Pakistan, and then talking about picking up gun, talking about radicalization, talking about nuclear war, that is something which he can only be a role model for probably the terrorist groups that are there in Pakistan.
Unfortunately, what we heard today from Prime Minister Imran Khan of Pakistan was a callous portrayal of the world in binary terms. Us versus them, rich versus poor, north versus south, developed versus developing, Muslims versus others. Prime Minister Imran Khan's threat of unleashing nuclear devastation qualifies as brinksmanship, not statesmanship. Even coming from the leader of a country that has monopolized the entire value chain of the industry of terrorism, Prime Minister Khan's justification of terrorism was brazen and incendiary. For someone who was once a cricketer and believed in the gentleman's game, today's speech bordered on crudeness of a variety reminiscent of the guns of Dara Adam Khel. Mr. President, now that Prime Minister Imran Khan has invited UN observers to Pakistan to verify that there are no militant organizations in Pakistan, the world will hold him to that promise.